What was that you said? More spring fragrances? Spring is here and it's officially time to freshen up your fragrance rotation. But with so many new releases, what's actually worthy of buying? Join me for the second part in my spring fragrance recommendations. Welcome to Note to Nuance, a channel dedicated to tasteful hot takes on music, fragrance, and pop culture. Each week, I'll dive into the latest releases, revisit beloved classics, and share hidden gems in both music and fragrance. If you're passionate about pop culture, music deep dives, or discovering your next signature scent, I've got you covered. Today, we're exploring part 2 of my favorite spring fragrances, including some new scents that I'm excited to share. If you missed part 1, I've linked to it in the description, so be sure to check that one out. I've also linked to a playlist of all my fragrance reviews and recommendations, so explore away. First up is a brand we all know and love, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I'm still obsessed with his latest release, Kurkdjian. Still hate the name though. Catch the link to my review in the description. This one is called APOM, or A Part of Me. Now, it may sound like a cryptic message from a perfume cult, but trust me, it's divine. Think orange blossom flirting with lavender under a golden amber sunset. It's the kind of scent that makes you feel like you've just returned from a glamorous vacation, even if you've only been to the grocery store. It's sophisticated, it's seductive. I do wish the longevity was a little better, but hey, that's why they make travel sizes. MFK fragrances are generally available in 35 ml and 70 ml sizes. Prices range significantly depending on the retailer. You can expect to pay anywhere from approximately $150 to $250 or more. They also tend to be pretty generous with their samples, so maybe ask for one next time you're at a department store. Next up is a fragrance that I'm never quite sure which season to associate with. So for the sake of this episode and because I love it, I'm gonna say spring. The Musk Therapy from Initio is a super high-end niche fragrance that is actually worth your cash. In fact, this one was an instant purchase the moment I smelled it. With notes of musk, and more musk, and some bergamot, blackcurrant, and orange for good measure. It's creamy, luxurious, and just perfectly balanced. Easily a year-round fragrance, but something about it just feels right for spring. The longevity is excellent, especially on clothes. You will smell like a luxury spa treatment all day long. Initio fragrances are typically sold in 90 ml bottles, which are gorgeous, by the way. And since they are a luxury brand, you can expect higher prices, generally in the $300 plus range. They do sell an awesome discovery set, and this fragrance is actually included in that set. Now, I'm a big fan of their fragrances, and we'll be doing a deeper dive into some of my favorites in a future episode. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it. Next up, a fragrance I love so much, I have 2 bottles. Lavande 31 from Labo is fresh yet deep, sophisticated yet relaxing. With notes of neroli, bergamot, lavender, tonka, and amber, it's an elevated take on lavender, perfect for spring evenings. And don't be scared off by the lavender note. This is not your grandmother's lavender, I promise. It's fresh, it's deep, basically a spa day in a bottle. In fact, I actually use one of these bottles as a linen spray because it's just so fresh. Now, as I discussed previously on this channel, I'm obsessed with fresh fragrances, particularly those with neroli and bergamot. This one is definitely a close cousin to Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford in terms of freshness and the overall vibe. And it's a Labo fragrance, in my opinion, that doesn't get enough attention. Labo offers various sizes, including 15 ml, 50 ml, and 100 ml. Prices vary pretty significantly depending on the size. Their 50 ml often is around the $200. Labo also allows you to refill your bottle in their stores for a discounted price, so look into that too. Up next is a fragrance I've recently become obsessed with. And this fragrance in particular is one of the most unique scents I've ever smelled in my life. It's a vanilla fragrance like no other, and I love it. Vanille Camouflage from Dries Van Noten is best described as a green vanilla, but it's so much more. This thing has notes of fig, cypress, sandalwood, ylang ylang, bourbon vanilla, Tahitian vanilla. It's all over the place, but somehow it all works and just blends together so beautifully. It's simply addictive. Now, I've heard a lot of people compare this one to Debaser from DS and Durga, and I just don't get that at all personally. But what I love about fragrance is that it can smell different to and on everyone. A few sprays of this one and it lasts forever. I currently own a 10 ml, but a full bottle is next on my list. This is a newer luxury fragrance and availability and pricing can vary. You can expect to spend around $360 for a full 100 ml bottle, hence why I'm rocking the 10 ml. Be sure to check out my review and strong recommendation of Orange Smoke, which is featured in part 1 of my spring fragrance recommendations. This is just what their bottles look like and they're stunning. I would love to have like 10 more of their fragrances, so one day. I am planning on doing an entire episode on their fragrances, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and stay tuned for that. So those are my definitive recommendations for spring. Finally, I want to discuss 2 new fragrances from popular brands that are getting a lot of hype. Can I recommend them as part of your spring collection? Let's discuss. First up is Mochi Milk from DedCool. In my previous episode, I featured and highly recommended another one of their popular new scents, Sunlit Blooms, and it's just delightful. Now this one, I'm kind of indifferent to. It definitely smells amazing at first spray, but once it's on your skin, it sort of just dries down into this weird, sweet, sort of subtle vanilla. I could smell it on my clothes, but barely on my skin. It's fine, but ultimately I don't find it to be anything particularly special. It has notes of marshmallow, peach, rice, jasmine, and musk. Now, particularly interesting is the rice note. Rice is a really trendy fragrance note at the moment, and it's really just a specific scent profile or composition designed to evoke the aroma of rice. So it has kind of the creamy, powdery, and slightly nutty quality. And this is used to add a unique and elegant touch to modern fragrances. If you're looking for a skin scent with a rice accord that actually has some longevity, I would strongly recommend that you check out Le Papier from Diptyque. It is a heavenly, light, and airy fragrance that has this really addictive quality. The rice note is definitely not for everyone, but I personally love it. Now, a lot of people are loving Mochi Milk. I just personally think there's better fragrances out there for your money right now. DedCool generally offers their fragrances in 50 ml and sometimes smaller travel sizes. Their prices tend to be more moderate, generally in the $80 range. Sephora or the DedCool website are probably the easiest places to get this. Finally, let's talk about the latest release from Glossier, Fleur. Not to be confused with the currently popular fragrance brand, Fleur. I don't know why this name for this fragrance right now. Anyway, so this is being marketed as a unisex fragrance that has a skin scent enhancer that is unique and adapting to each individual. It opens with a fresh mineral salt accord reminiscent of the ocean. It ultimately settles into a warm, kind of musky base of ambrox, offering a sensual, woody depth. Now, candidly, I have not been a big fan of the previous 3 versions of this fragrance, which have all been really popular from the brand. That's probably because I feel like those fragrances have been marketed more toward the female demographic, even though I know guys who love the original version of you. As it pertains to this one, to me, despite the fruitiness, this fragrance is definitely unisex. Now, personally, I'm not getting any of the salt accord or the ambrox, which I think was heavily present in the other versions of this fragrance. The Liang Liang and the apricot and the osmanthus are pretty prominent and nicely blended. To me, this is a really creamy, fruity floral with excellent longevity. This is a really nice fragrance. Their best so far, in my opinion. Glossier typically offers their fragrances in a standard size 50 ml bottle and a 10 ml travel size. Sephora or the Glossier website are probably the easiest places to get this one. So that's part 2 of my roundup of the perfect spring fragrances. Will there be a part 3? Who knows? Stay tuned. Have you tried any of these yet? What's your favorite spring scent? Drop a comment below because I would love to know. Please like, subscribe, and check out my fragrance playlist link below for even more recommendations. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Cheers.